everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be another reading vlog. I would love to try and make this one a weekly one, but I highly doubt that will be in the cards for me. If you watched my past couple reading vlogs, you know that I am like swamped with schoolwork. It is actually insane. But I have realized recently that I've been neglecting my self-care, which for me is filming videos like these and like prioritizing my reading time. I really haven't been doing good with that, and I would love to get back onto it. So in this vlog, I'm going to be prioritizing, you know, having time to read, like sitting down and like dedicating specific hours of the day, or even if it's just a little bit of time for me to read and to complete the books that I'm excited about, because I love doing that. But I'm currently reading 5 books right now, which for me is a lot. I normally read maybe 2 or 3 at a time, but like 5 is kind of crazy. I know I've read 6 at a time before, but I've never enjoyed when I do that. So this is going to be about finishing the books I'm currently reading, prioritizing my October TBR, and also just immersing myself in the books and just fully like getting myself back into a good routine, like a healthy routine where I'm not just burnt out all the time. So I'll quickly take you through my TBR, my current reads, and then we will get on with the rest of the vlog. So for physical reads, I'm only reading 2 and I'm listening to 3 audiobooks right now. So the one I have made the most progress in so far is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. This is one of her standalone books and I am loving this so far. I am up to chapter 30, which is page 239, and I like can't put this down. Like I'm really into this right now. It is very, very interesting. We've got a lot of plot twists so far, a lot of family drama, and I'm just so curious about where this is gonna go. And I actually I can't even guess. Like most thriller books or like mystery books like this, I kind of have a theory about what happened, but this one I'm clueless. Like I'm taking a step back. I'm not playing detective here. Like I'm just gonna let it happen, let it unfold, and see where we go. So yeah, my goal is to finish this. I don't really know when I'm gonna set a goal to finish this. It's currently Sunday, October 12th. So I would like to finish it in the next week or so, hopefully. I think since I'm halfway, I've made a lot of progress today just because it was a really lazy Sunday and I kind of just did nothing but read this, which was much, much needed. So I would love to finish this hopefully by next weekend. We'll really have to see, that might be unlikely. And the other physical book I'm reading is one that, if you've watched my past couple vlogs as well, I'm still reading The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillick. I have not made any more progress since my last vlog, since my last video, so I would love to finish this as well, but I'm just not even going to talk about it because anything I say about this book doesn't get done, and I am just going to update you when I finish that book. I'm not even going to do progress. If I have some crazy thoughts, maybe I'll talk to you about it, but like it's gonna take its time with me. I think I'm just like stepping back and letting this book control me instead of me controlling it. But yeah, as for the 3 audiobooks I'm listening to, I'm currently listening to The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling, which is a like witchy, spooky, Halloweeny romance book. It's pretty popular and I've heard a lot of great things about it, and so far I'm 45% through and I'm loving it so far. Like normally with romance books, I tend to have issues if the characters are like annoying, if they're bad at communicating, but overall like the setting of this, the small town, the like college, and then like the witchy vibes with like the magic and everything, it's really, really good and it's a lot of fun. The main characters are very silly and I don't know, I just love them. Like something about this, I think I just like when romances are more unique than just like your standard like real life scenario. Like it's kind of fun when they have magic. So I hope to finish that this week. I don't have a physical copy, but if I finish it and it ends up being highly rated, I definitely want to get one. And then I'm also re-listening to Heavenly Bodies by Amani Ariu. This is a reread for me in preparation for when the sequel comes out in November. I'm so excited for that. But I'm currently about 39, like 40% through this, and it's been a very fun reread so far. Forgot how much I love these characters and just the story and world in general. If you have not read Heavenly Bodies, you need to. It is one of my favorite fantasy books of all time. It's definitely a romantasy book, so the romance definitely does take a forefront, but I just feel like it's so well done. Just the craft of the story is just so good in my opinion. However, while I was listening to it, I did feel like we were kind of rushed into the romance. I feel like the first couple bit was about like the plot and the world building, and then we kind of like jumped in. Oh, it's very romance heavy all of a sudden, but like I don't really care. And then the last audiobook I'm listening to is The Alienist by Caleb Carr. This is one I've had on my shelf for a while, and I want to read this physically, but like look how small that font is. There's no way I'm reading this physically. So pick this up on audiobook. It is about, I think, a murder mystery in 1896 New York, so very industrial. But it's basically following these two men as they create a psychological profile of the perpetrator based on the details of his crimes. So it's kind of like going into the mind of this killer as well as the minds of like I think it's a detective and a reporter who are investigating it. I've only listened to 3%, so I'm really not that far into it, but so far I'm enjoying it. It's definitely like historical fiction, which is why I'm listening to it, because it feels kind of dense, and it's not really what I'm used to, but I'm excited to see what I think. I'm curious. So those are my current reads. I do have some that are on my TBR that I would like to get to soon, but I don't think I'll mention them now just because that was 5 books that I'm currently in the middle of, so I feel like it'd be overload if I just told you about everything I'm excited to read right now, because it would be like 10 plus books. So but yeah, it's Sunday night. I'm going to get ready for bed and I will update you sometime this week. I really have quite a busy week for school and work and everything. It's gonna be really chaotic, but I'm gonna get through it. I've got this. Hello everyone. I don't know if you can see my cat Slippers. She's going to accompany us today. I have some exciting news, and that is that I finished a book last night, or slash early this morning, because it was like midnight when I finished it, but still I finished it. I just realized I had my camera stacked on top of the books I want to talk about, so forgive me for like the really adjusted camera angles every shot. But last night I finished The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, and wow, this one was so good. This was a crazy ride. I feel like it was definitely more of like a slow burn thriller. It was fast paced, but we spend majority of the book inside Belle's head as she kind of like becomes an unreliable narrator. Like, we're following her along obviously, and we were excited to see what she was doing, what she was thinking about things, but like I felt like I couldn't really trust her at the same time, because she was just so biased against Rachel, and just like all of her thoughts were just so scary in a way, because I saw like the path she was gonna go down and some of the things she was doing. I was like, girl, stop it, you are in too deep. But I just loved her as a character. I feel like she was really intriguing, and seeing her like abandonment issues and kind of her like trouble connecting with people throughout the story, I really thought that was well written and made her seem like a really whole, real person. The plot twist at the end was kind of crazy, and like I said before, I didn't really have expectations for what it was. Like, I really had trouble guessing what was going to happen and what like the reveal was going to be, but I also didn't think it would be that. And I wouldn't say it was like a letdown, because it made sense. Like, it wasn't like far beyond a possible reality. Like, it is possible for something like this to happen, so it made complete sense, but I just didn't think it would be that. But it wasn't really disappointing. I guess I just expected something more outlandish than what it was. But the fact that like everything, like everyone, I don't know how to say anything about this book without revealing anything. And like, I know it won't really make sense to you if you're watching this and you don't know anything about this book, but I still just don't want to give any spoilers, and I feel like I can't say anything. But it was just kind of shocking of like how much we were supposed to pick up on, like how many clues that this author had dropped that were just like so there, but like we just couldn't connect those dots. Like, it was just so well done. So I ended up giving it a 4.5 stars. The only reason it wasn't 5 stars is because I felt like the last little bit, like the last couple chapters, were a bit rushed, and I would have liked to see a bit more of that. But that would have also made this book like almost too long. Like, it is a pretty big book, but I enjoyed every second of it. I highly recommend this one. It is a standalone, and it's really bingeable for like spooky season. I think this was a perfect read for this time of year, even though it's like just now starting to look like fall outside, but I still loved it. I highly recommend this one. Again, forgive me for the camera angle, but the next on my, I guess, immediate TBR for this vlog, I would like to make more progress in The Night and the Moth. I am currently still on page, 187, which is genuinely like halfway through this book. So I'm not going to set a page count goal. I'm not going to set really any goals, because I feel like anytime I do, I don't meet them. But then I would like to start a new physical book as well, just because I don't like bringing that one out of the house. But I think I'm going to start with The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I got this in a little free library recently, and I'm normally not like a big like thriller person, but I've heard great things about this author and just his books in general. And this one seems really interesting because the blurb on the back says, "A gothic house of horrors. It carries you along effortlessly before delivering a symphony of twists so shocking it took my breath away." Which I'm like, okay, I'm hooked. You have gothic, you have plot twists, took your breath away. Like, I'm so intrigued. But this, I think, is like a dual timeline story, because it follows this character named Lenora Hope, who was accused of murdering her family in 1929, but now it's 1983, and her like home nurse named Kit McDear arrives at Lenora Hope's home. It's kind of like this spooky mansion. Oh, my breakfast's ready. Sorry about that. But this kind of has dual timelines where the home nurse named Kit is kind of like figuring out what actually happened with Lenora Hope that night. So she's using like a typewriter to like tell the story. So a lot of the text is in this different font, which I guess is like the present like timeline. I don't really know yet, but I'm excited to try this. I'm not really the biggest thriller person besides like Rachel Price and whatnot. I love Holly Jackson's books in general, but I'm not like a super big thriller person. I tend to gravitate more towards like horror books, like genuinely like super scary stuff. I tend to like that stuff a lot. But I am curious to see what I think. I just hope this is fast paced. I'm just really in the mood for like another mystery. I just had a lot of fun like trying to solve the reappearance of Rachel Price. That was really fun. So I'm also not gonna set a goal with this just because I am really unsure how I'll feel. Like, if I get into it and I'm like, I'm not vibing with this, I can just donate it back to a little free library, but I have a feeling I will like this a lot. So I'm excited to get into that. But yeah, for some other plans for today, I do have a lot of homework to get done before this weekend because I have quite a busy weekend. So I think I'll get down to campus a bit early, grab a coffee because I'm out of Nespresso pods and they should like arrive today or tomorrow, which is no big deal. But I'm like, dang, it's like a nice cool day. I wanted a coffee. So I think I'll get a coffee down there, do some work before my class, and then my second class was canceled today. So I will do some work after my class as well, and then I have a meeting and some other stuff. So let's just get this day started. I have about half an hour until my first class and I'm early, so I thought I would give you a little reading update. I'm filming on my phone because I don't have my camera. But yesterday I actually finished listening to The X-Hex by Erin Sterling, which was my current, well, one of my current audiobooks. And this ended up being so cute. I didn't really know what to expect besides like a romance, like a regular romance book, like rom-com, except with witches. But I was pleasantly surprised. I had heard really good things about this book. A lot of people say it's like their favorite romance book, like a lot of YouTubers I watch. So going into it, you know, I kind of lowered my expectations because I'm not the biggest romance reader. Like I enjoy certain ones, but I tend to be picky about it. Like the characters have to seem realistic and not be like cringy or just like super annoying, you know. I cannot stand miscommunication, so there can't be any miscommunication, and it just has to have some component that like is intriguing and like sets it apart from like just any other story. So for this one, it takes place in this small town called Graves Glen, and the main character Vivian is a witch, and she didn't really know she was a witch until she was a bit older, but she lives with her cousin Gwen and her aunt Elaine, and they own this kind of like oddities shop of sorts. And so Vivian, when she was about 19, she was in a relationship over the summer with Rhys Penhallow, who is like a descendant of the founders of this town, and his family's from Wales, and so they kind of had a fling over the summer. But then he tells her he has to go back to Wales because he's betrothed, like he has been betrothed, and he didn't tell her, and so they break up. And then that summer she curses him, gets drunk, and she's taking a bath, and her cousin Gwen put a curse on Rhys. Now we fast forward, it's like 10, I don't really remember how many years later, but like they're like older now. And so Vivian now works at the college in town. She doesn't work for the witch side of college, she works for the human side, just because she feels like, you know, she wasn't a witch, she didn't know she was a witch until she was like in her 20s, so she feels more comfortable teaching human history, so that's what she teaches. But then Rhys Penhallow comes back to Graves Glen for I think it's like the 100th anniversary of the founding of the town, and they have this thing called Founders Day, and so since he's a descendant, he has to be there. Their paths converge and they reunite, and there's a lot of like bad blood, but it's not like enemies, you know, like they don't hate each other. It's just kind of like filled with a lot of tension, which I liked. Like I didn't want them to be like at each other's throats. I kind of just wanted it to be awkward, and that's exactly what it was between them. But there's something going on with the magic of this town. It has to do with like the ley lines, and so Reese and Vivian are kind of forced to like figure out what's going on with the magic, and they're trying to figuring out if Reese is actually cursed or not, because they kind of didn't intend to like truly curse him. Like they were just kind of drunk when they cursed him when she was 19. So but things start happening to Reese, and yeah, it was just really fun overall. I really loved like the magic aspect and kind of like the witchy vibes. It was super cozy too, so the atmosphere was definitely one of my favorite parts. I did enjoy the characters. I just think I struggled to connect with them fully because I did listen to it on audiobook, and I listened on double speed just because that's how fast my brain comprehends it. Like it's not that I'm trying to get through the book super quickly, it's just if I listen to something on less than double speed, I'm just like kind of bored, and I think I just couldn't really connect with them because I was listening to it. So part of me wants to get the physical book and then like reread it next year, annotate it, and I think it will end up being like a favorite read, like something I reread every fall. But I ended up giving it 4 stars, thoroughly enjoy it, and I do recommend it for a fun, like lighthearted Halloween read, or just like read for the fall. It's definitely perfect for this time of year. And I am intrigued to read The Kiss Curse, which is book 2, and I think that one follows Gwen. I'd be interested in reading that one too, for sure. But I do have some progress in my physical books that I've been reading. So I have made some progress in The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I got up to page 100 this morning. I kind of just had a slow morning. Just had my coffee. I did fall asleep again, but it was just nice to like have some uninterrupted reading time. So far, I am enjoying this. It's kind of slower paced for a thriller. I feel like in a lot of thrillers we're like right into it, or like tension starts building really quickly and things start being really weird, but like it's 100 pages in and like nothing really creepy has happened so far. But the main character, Kit, is now officially taking care of Lenora Hope, who was accused of murdering her family in her mansion. And so, you know, she like cannot move. Like the only thing she can do is like knock twice for yes and once for no, but she can only use like her left hand. So she types on this typewriter to communicate with Kit, and it's really cool so far. It's just like nothing really super spooky has happened, and I wasn't really expecting anything too crazy, but I kind of had hoped something would happen by now. So it's not that I'm bored, it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna continue this. I'm intrigued to see where it's going, but like I don't know if it'll be like I don't know if it'll be something that I'm like dying to sit down and pick up. Like I want to read it quickly because I tend to prefer thrillers on audiobook just because I like how they read them. It's more suspenseful to me, and I've had really good experiences listening to thrillers on audiobooks, but I'm enjoying it. I'm curious to see where it goes. I hope it speeds up. My goal, I have a really busy weekend this weekend, so I'm hoping I can read maybe like 50 pages, maybe 100. I don't really know. We'll have to see what like time I end up having. And then I work tonight, I close, so I should potentially have some time to read if it's slow. So I think I'll definitely read more of The Only One Left. Although I don't want to be spooked, you know, if it does end up getting scary, I don't want to scare myself. So I did bring The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and normally I don't bring this out of the house, but I need to finish this very badly. I am still on page almost 200. I've been halfway through this book for probably 2 or 3 weeks at this point, and I just need to finish it. And so where we left off, let's see if I remember actually. Oh yeah, we left off on such a good scene. Oh my gosh. So Rory was fitting Sybil for her like armor because they're officially going to start hunting down the omens. And saying that without context doesn't make sense, but I'm halfway through and I feel like I cannot explain this fully. I need to get like back into the story before I really update you on what's going on. And I also don't want to spoil you because this book is great so far. So we left off on a really good scene. I'm excited to pick back up in the action, and I just love these characters so much. Like truly,
If it was any other book, if it was any other story, I might have DNF'd it by now if it was just taking me this long and I was stuck at the halfway point and I just couldn't really pick it up. But that's not the case with this book, because for this book, I love these characters so much. Like, I don't know, I haven't spent that much time with them yet, but something about the way Rachel Gillig's writing works for me, I just feel so attached and I just feel so immersed in this world. So it would have to take something really different to happen in this book for me to like not enjoy it anymore. So even though I've taken a long break from reading this, I feel like I will start reading it again and it'll feel like no time has passed. Like, that's what this book does for me. So those are my 2 physical book updates. Normally I tend to get ahead of myself and talk about what I'm going to listen to or read physically next. I'm still listening to Heavenly Bodies by Amani Ariyu. I'm about 60% through that. It's been good, great reread. Honestly, I'm kind of like not tuning it out, but since I've read it before, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll like, a scene will come on and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that, and then I might not like pay attention as much. Like, I don't know if that's bad, but I'm really just listening to it to refresh my memory. Like, I'm not trying to like be super engaged with the story because I already love it. I already know what happens. I just need to be ready for when the sequel comes out, which I'm so excited for. Anyways, I have to walk to class now, but I will talk to you some other time.
Everyone. I've had the weirdest book mail experience. I do have book mail to open for you, but I need to explain this story before I actually open it, because number one, if I haven't had the gratification and like happiness from this package delayed enough, I'm going to delay it even more just to explain to you all I've been through with trying to receive this book. So basically this starts on like October 3rd. I'm about to leave on my little weekend trip to Washington, D.C., but Pango Books, the used book platform where individual sellers can like buy and sell books. And speaking of that, I have a code you can use actually. You can type in my name, Nora, N-O-R-A-H, and receive $5 off your first purchase. It has to be your first one. That's the only stipulation if you've never bought from them before. But you can save $5 and you can find some great books. But anyways, I love Pango. They're amazing. They were having a little promo because they just did a rebrand and they were having like $5 off. So of course I was like, you know what? I've been eyeing this book for a while. I'll get it. The $5 off really helped, but I ordered it and I was like, okay, we'll go on this trip, and when I come back, it should be there. It was not. The USPS marked it as delivered on like October 8th or 9th, and the tracking said it would be there on like the 9th, so then it was marked delivered, but I never got the package. And I was just really confused because I'm like, that's never happened before. That's unusual. But on like the Pango app and like tracking for your package and everything, it says it's common that USPS will do that. So like be patient, wait a little bit, or like check with a neighbor, check if it's misplaced or something like that. Now I live in like a semi-big neighborhood. There are multiple addresses, like 2 others in my neighborhood with the same number but different street name. I personally have never had my packages mistaken with their houses, like the same number, just different street. That's never happened, so I don't see why it happened now. And really, I don't know if that was the case, but it is now the 15th of October. It's a week since it was marked as delivered and not delivered, and so I was in contact with Pango support, trying to see if they could look for it, try to go through USPS to see if they could look for it. And USPS definitely was the least helpful. I put in like a missing mail search and they were like, oh, it's delivered, and it still wasn't. So I don't know if this being delivered now is from the USPS search that I wanted them to do, or from a neighbor mistakenly getting it and then dropping it back off a week later. I don't really know what the deal is. Or it could just be USPS had it this whole time, marked it delivered a week early, and just now dropped it off. I really don't know what the situation is, but all I want to say is that Pango support has been so helpful. They are a great company and I definitely think you should support it. It was very frustrating to go through just because, you know, I paid money for this book and I do really want the book. That's kind of what I was going through, is like, yeah, it's nice to have a refund, because they did refund me for the book, which now I'm just gonna like dispute that. Like, I still will have paid for this. I got the good, so I will pay for the good, but like, I was kind of disappointed to get a refund because I'm like, I want the book, you know, I want to support this person selling their used copies because it's a great sustainable book practice. Like, I really ordered this because I didn't want to have to buy this book off Amazon or something, so that's the main reason why I went through them. And so I felt bad to have to like be so complicated and stuff, so I'm glad that I have the book. And I just hope this never happens to anyone else. I just wanted to share that little story before I finally open it and we see what it is. I've been waiting for this. I'm so freaking happy. Like, it doesn't feel real. I literally just got home and I walked up to the door and I was like, no way. And sure enough, here it is. I'm really excited. I hope it's in good condition. I hope that this is worth it. And yeah, I'm just like relieved and excited and still kind of stressed over everything because I might have to like contact my bank about the refund situation, but that's another story. Let's just open it. I think I also feel weird because this doesn't really feel like real. Like, I feel like I should not be holding this in my hands. It feels like I'm dreaming. Oh my gosh, but she wrapped it up so nicely. Oh my gosh, that is so, I've never seen someone put this much care into delivering a book. Wow. Just realized I literally could have skipped all of that dramaticness with just cutting it open. This doesn't even feel real to be holding right now. Because tell me why I never thought I would receive this book. And genuinely, when all this drama was happening, I like added the book to my cart on Amazon because I'm like, you know, I do want the book. I don't want to have to buy from them or pay full price, but I will because I want it. I'm so glad I never bought it. I'm so glad I didn't buy it from them because I had no clue this was showing up. It was a pleasant surprise today. But finally, without further ado, the book is City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. This is the first book in the House of Devils series. This is an indie published book, and so far it's a 4-book series. I think there's going to be a 5th or maybe even 6th one. I don't really know. But this series actually just got picked up for traditional publishing, which is amazing, but I kind of wanted to get my hands on it right now. I've really been hearing amazing things about this series. It's an urban fantasy book. It has witches, werewolves, vampires, fae. It's definitely reminiscent of Crescent City to me. It reminds me a lot of that, but I don't know, I've just heard crazy things about the MMC in this book. His name's like Darian or something like that, and people are like obsessed with him. And I'm really curious, but also like this plot sounds so good. Basically, it follows this main character named Lauren Calla, and she is a human, but it says she barely escapes abduction at the hands of dark slayers, supernatural bounty hunters that possess the sight, a magical tracking ability that allows them to see a person's aura, and one of her friends is taken in her place. The abductors are demanding a ransom, Lauren's life in exchange for her friend's safe return. Lauren will do whatever it takes to get her friend back, even if it means accepting help from Darien Castle, the leader of the Seven Devils, the most feared dark slaying circle in the city. That sounds really, really good. I've just heard incredible things about it, and I just wanna experience this world for myself. This is like a hefty book though. Like, it's floppy, but like, this is a brick. I'm so excited, and I'm tempted to drop everything and start this right now. Dare I say I deserve it though, after all I've been through getting my hands on this. I might just do it. So yeah, thank you to Pango for being so helpful with my struggles in getting my hands on this copy. But definitely go check out Pango Books. Use my code if you want to treat yourself and use it for your first purchase. Hello everybody. So I have some exciting news, and that is that I have a beautiful monitor set up now. So this is my setup. I have a keyboard, a mouse, a beautiful monitor to edit my videos on, and I feel very grateful. My boyfriend's dad kindly gave me all of these because they were not in use anymore, and I'm just can't really believe it. Like, I feel so professional, and I'm so excited to edit videos on here and like write my book on here. It'll be so much fun and like a lot easier than doing it on like a tiny little laptop screen, although I did get very used to it, so I feel like I'm looking at this big screen like deer in the headlights. But it is very nice. I have a lot more like space on there, so I'm very, very happy about that. I just wanted to show you because it's kind of cool. I did have to rearrange my desk, which has made me want to rearrange my entire room and declutter, but I don't really have the time for that. But the purpose of this update is that I do have some reading updates for you that I'm excited to share about. Unfortunately, I will be ending the vlog here, but I have some book reviews to give you. So, I have finished 2 books since we've last spoke. I did house sit last week, so I was very out of my normal routine. I was planning on vlogging that week, but I was just very like discombobulated, and honestly I kind of just took the week to chill. Like, it was very nice to be away from the routine in a way, like in a different space, because it kind of like made me step out of kind of like the rut I had gotten in, so that was very nice. But as a result, I had some more time to read, to finish these books, and to just kind of detox a bit, in a way. So, the first book I finished was Heavenly Bodies by Amani Ariu. I finished listening to my audiobook of this. This is my reread to prepare for the sequel next month in November. And this was a lot of fun. I kind of was reminded why I love this book so much and why it was a 5-star. The world is just so unique. I've never read anything with a magic system or with like a fantasy world building like this at all. I think it's just very lush and very detailed, and I'm excited to see where the author takes us in book 2. I really have a good feeling. I feel like it'll be crazy, especially with the ending of this book. We have a big reveal, so we have a lot to pick up with in the sequel. The only critique I have about this book, which doesn't change my rating, this is still a 5-star, this is still a favorite book and like top fantasy recommendation from me. So if you are in need of a fantasy book to read, please read Heavenly Bodies. The only critique I have about this book, and here goes my like writer brain, like that's the thing, I need to turn off writer brain when I'm reading, because then I just want to give feedback on everything and pick apart books and like what works, what doesn't work. That's just how I'm wired. That's just how I think. But like not every book needs to be picked apart like that, especially one I've read before. Like it doesn't need to change anything. But the only thing that kind of got on my nerves with this book and that I noticed while reading it for a second time is that the romance is kind of rushed at the beginning. Like it feels like we have a lot of world building, a lot of exposition for the first like couple chapters, and then the characters meet, and then all of a sudden it's like very romance heavy, which is not a bad thing. It just kind of felt abrupt, and it felt like they were just very romantic all of a sudden, like very quickly into the story, which I'm not really a big fan of. I prefer more like slower, more emotional romance stories, more build up. So I didn't mind it because they still did take a while to like admit their feelings, get together and everything, but I did just notice that and I was like, it's a bit too quick for my liking. But this couple is like, so I don't care because I'm still gonna eat up book 2. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars a second time. Highly recommend this one, and the audiobook was really good. I thought the narrator was really talented. She did voices for every single character and like none of them annoyed me, which I'm pretty picky about my audiobook narrators, so that was very nice. And then the second book I finished was The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I almost forgot who wrote this for a second. I was pleasantly surprised by this because this is my first book by this author, and I know that he's pretty beloved. Like a lot of people like his books and he's pretty popular, and I've just never read anything by him. And so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think this would be scary necessarily, but it did kind of take a different turn than I thought. This book was not scary. This book wasn't really the most thriller. Like the mystery was intriguing, but it wasn't the most like interesting thing to me. While reading, I did kind of like lose interest a bit, but like I also still wanted to know what happened. It just felt a little underwhelming to me, but I still really liked it. I still thought it was really intriguing and really well written. I liked a lot of the character work that was done. I feel like this author does a good job of balancing the mystery without sacrificing his character's intelligence, because a lot of my issues with like mystery books, with thriller books, is that the main characters are just stupid and just kind of miss every red flag that goes up. They miss every single sign even though it's super obvious. For this one, I felt like everything was really subtle. I did pick up on some things, but that was only after reading like most of this book. Like by the end I started to pick up on some things, but there were some twists that I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming. So that's one thing I really liked about this author and this book in general, is that the main character was very strong. All of the characters, to be honest, were really strong. I feel like I got a good balance of like liking them and watching them change and grow with the actual like plot, like with the mystery. So it felt really balanced. It felt really good. The ending though was like, I thought it would be a cliffhanger. I thought it would be super dramatic, but tell me why it was like actually super wholesome, like really sweet. Like I really think it was deserved for these characters that they got like a good ending. I won't say anything because it will give things away, but like I'm kind of just happy for them. Like I feel like in other circumstances I might be disappointed because I as the reader didn't get some cliffhanger, some like really crazy dramatic, you know, end to the story. But I feel like I'm satisfied that these characters like turned out okay. Like I feel like if they weren't to do that, I would be upset because they they've come so far, you know what I mean? So overall I gave this a 3.75, which to be honest I'll probably just round up to a 4-star because I don't know really why I gave it a 3.75. I think it's because it didn't feel like a 3.5, because 3.5 was kind of like not on the low end for that book, but also 4 seemed too high. I don't really know what I was thinking, but I'm gonna say it's 3.75, 4-star. That's interchangeable. I did really enjoy it, and I do recommend it if you're looking for, I'd say, a mystery book. I wouldn't really call it like a thriller book because me personally, I wasn't like thrilled by it. Like, it was spooky at times. There were some creepy moments that I was like, oh, I'm kind of freaked out right now. Like, if I was in that situation, I would not want to be there. But the mystery kept me going, kind of just unraveling all the secrets. It was really intriguing. So I do recommend that if you're looking for a mystery book. But as for some life updates, some life things, I had a Halloween party over this past weekend. It was really fun. It was kind of more chill than I had expected, which I didn't mind because I just made a charcuterie board. And like I was in charge of the food, so that was really fun. I just love Halloween so much. And then school has been crazy, like always, but I feel like this monitor will really motivate me to like want to get work done. I feel like a lot more important working on my monitor. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of these books or if they're on your TBR now. So I hope you've had a really good October so far. I'm really sad that the month is almost over. Like, I feel like I blinked and it's almost November. And then it'll be 2026. Like, what is happening? I don't understand how time flies like this. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.